Well, good morning. I'm here at Makins Fishery today and we're on the banks of Lake 5 and I've been set a swim stim challenge. Well, I don't quite know what it is yet. Apparently I've got a load of nice goodies in this dynamite bucket and I'm just waiting on a text to tell me what I've got to do. Hopefully it's a nice easy challenge because it's absolutely red hot and there's a few fish on the surface. So, oh, there we are. Right, the 3 net challenge. Using one product from the bucket and one loose feed, you have 1 hour to catch 50 pounds. The 3 keep nets indicate you have 3 chances to complete the challenge. Good luck. Right, I think I'll need some good luck. Okay, so I've got 3 chances to catch 50 pounds in an hour, and it all depends what's in here as to what I can use. 2 products. So let's see what he's got in there. Hopefully it's not a bag of boilies. Right, red krill ground bait. Use that a lot, but I'm not sure we'll be using that today. This is a green venue. They use green swim stim pellets here, a lot of green swim stim ground bait. So I'm hoping, yes, green swim stim ground bait. Now, I'm definitely going to use that today. What else have we got? We've got expanders. Yep, could catch on expanders. I think we'll catch more skimmers and things on that, but not necessarily the big carp, the big wobbly carp, as my mate Andy May would call them. So green swim stim 8mm pellets, great bait for here. I'm going to make it a little bit harder than that. That, believe it or not, is going to be my hook bait. I've decided already we're going to fish paste. Now, big men like Andy May and Grant Albert, they're scared of fishing paste, but I like fishing paste. I'll show them how it's done. So we need something to feed with the paste. We could feed pellets. I'm hoping. Right, yeah, here we are. We've got a tin of XL corn. I love fishing paste with corn, but I can also see a tin of hemp here as well. Friends' hemp seed natural. So I'm torn between which one to feed with the paste, corn or hemp. Most people I know tend to fish corn these days, so I'm going to go a little bit different. I'm going to fish paste over hemp. There's all sorts of things in here I could use. I've got some swim stim pellets out, can't put that on the hook today, can I? So, but obviously you might let me boost some of my paste with that. I've got other bits and bobs in here. I've got some extreme paste actually, so that's another option we could use if you're not so used to using ground bait as paste. That's the red krill one, but oh, there's some green there as well, a little bit more fibrous, that stays on the hook a bit nicer. But hopefully I can show you with these 2 products how to catch a good weight of fish, hopefully 50 pounds in an hour on paste. Right then, preparing the bait today. Nothing could be simpler really. A lot of people get really confused or put off by thinking paste is really complicated to prepare. I'll show you today, it definitely isn't. But first thing we've got to do is prepare the hemp. Well, there we are. I've opened a tin, goes in. That's it. Nothing easy that. I hadn't had to cook it. It's all in the tin. Cooked in, it's in the can as well. So it's got all them lovely oils and juices. And carp absolutely love hemp. I've been told that it's one of the most nutritious things a carp can have is hemp. So, and hopefully it'll prove that today. So we'll pop that out of the way. And hemp, paste should I say. I've already opened the bag, so quantities I actually tend to judge it by eye, but if you're not too confident, then what I would say is generally one part paste, in this case the swim stim ground bait, and that works with the natural and the red krill swim stim as well. So we'll tip that in, 1 part of that, and then 1 part of water, so it's 50-50. And then we'll mix that up, and automatically that looks horrible, but believe you me, that will soon soak up. See, it's already taken on all that water, and actually it's going to take even more water than that. So that's already, I just mix it all in very roughly, make sure it's all saturated, and that is the consistency I will ultimately want. But I guarantee in 5-10 minutes this will be set like concrete. So actually we want even more water. So I'm going to put another half amount in again, slop it in. So that's 1 part ground bait, 1.5 parts water so far. And we just mix it all in. Again, it looks like an unusable, sloppy, soupy porridge. But that will soak up really, really fast. Now I do like using a sloppy paste. The softer the paste you get, the more fish you'll catch. So but we'll leave it at that for now, and what I tend to do is just have a tub of water on my side tray with my paste, and we can add and subtract a bit of water as we go along. But that ultimately is the consistency we're after. A bit of a sloppy gloop, but enough to congeal and stay around the hook. And we'll be potting it in, which I'll show you later. But in true old Blue Peter style, here's some that I prepared 10 minutes ago. And it's slightly on the firm side now, but nice and soft, completely saturated. And we can use it at that consistency. But what we can also do is just add a little bit of water into one corner, and we can try using it a little bit softer as well. So, but generally, as starting off, always err on the slightly firmer side. We don't know if there's going to be small fish problems or anything, but generally the softer the better. But I tend to, that sort of consistency is exactly what we're after today. Right then, I've plumbed up. It's a surprisingly shallow lake. It's probably no more than 3.5 foot on the short line, which is about 5-6 meters out, and I've plumbed up a margin line about 4 meters out as well. So I've got one rig for there and one rig for down the side. So very, very simple. So there are my two rigs. I've got, I'll just put the margin one down first. I've got quite a substantial elastic there. It's soft. This is 16 to 18 green slick elastic. It comes out really nice on the strike, but it does power up. And I think we might catch a few bream and stuff on the paste as well today. So hopefully it's soft enough for that, and with it being a bit shallower. I could always drop down, but I'm going to stick to the green 16 to 18 to begin with. If we were just catching great big things, then I'd use the red 18 to 20, but 16 to 18 is a nice go-to size for both rigs. I've got 020 line direct on both rigs. That's 020 power micron. Really, really strong stuff. No nonsense. Big bait. We can get away with big, strong line, thicker line and bigger hooks. That's the beauty of pace fishing. We can get away with robust tackle, strong elastic, strong line and a big hook. So, and the hook is a size 12. Generally for pace fishing I go for a size 12. I don't know if you can see there, but I've actually left quite a long tag on the hook as well. It's actually an eyed hook, but I tie it spade end style and leave a long tag, and that tag just helps the pace adhere to the hook a little bit better as well. So but it's a no nonsense sharp hook. You don't want anything too thick and heavy, but you want like a medium gauge strong sharp hook. That's actually a Guru pellet waggler hook. That's seems to be my favourite pace hook. Yes, it says pellet waggler, but I actually only use it for pace fishing. So nice hook for that. And float wise, a nice long bristle will help us see the bites and shot our rig properly. And because it's so shallow, I've got no shot at all down the line at all. All a shot. It only takes 4 number 10s this rig anyway. They're all under the float. If it gets a bit windy or a bit more tow, we can bring shot down. If we're getting a lot of bream, or if there was F1s here, I'll bring shot down, and you often get a lot of lift bites now. Because we're after carp predominantly, there's no need for shot down the line. You won't miss the bites. The float will be straight up or it'll be whooshing under. So so that's what we've got there. A long bristle float. That's called a Big H. I don't know where you get these from now. I've had these years. Top hanger Jamie Masson put me onto these floats, and I've never really veered from them. This is a 4B12, which is about a 0.2 gram. And then the only other important thing, I do like to have 2 or 3 number 8 back shot above the rig. That just keeps everything stable and stops the wind and tow pulling the hook out of the paste. So and the margin rig, absolutely identical in every way, other than I've got an old float there with a hollow bristle, and I've actually just melted the actual tip. That's the only little complicated thing. You don't have to do this, it's just something I do. I've melted the actual tip so the line can go in and out the top of the bristle. So if you can see that, and it just means, because I'm potting in my paste today, it just stops wrapovers and tangles. You don't have to do it, but for margin fishing, I do quite like an inline float with a long bristle. So it's quite a little nifty thing to do there. I've just mounted with a hot pin, and it's quite a nice little trick there for pace fishing, so you don't get any tangles. So that's the only complicated thing. Again, that takes 2 number 10s directly below the float, no shot down the line, Very, very simple. The only other one thing, a bit of tackle to look at is the pot itself. Don't use a tiny Kinder type pot. This is an old aerosol lid. The reason is we can put big bits of paste in, but we can also put feed in as well at the same time. So it's really important to use a nice big pot, so you can get a nice big dollop of paste. If you're fishing big bits of paste, we'll vary the size, but also we can put some feed in at exactly the same time. So that's it, 2 simple inline rigs. Can't wait to get started. Right, that's the first hour over. I've definitely not got me £50, but I've had a few carp, 5 or 6 carp, and probably £10 of skimmers. So close, but not quite close on the first hour. Fish have been a bit moody, but we'll see what we've got. If Mark gives us a hand with the scales, we'll soon find out. No, it's about what I thought. I'm going to be quite harsh on myself. 24-14. So not too bad, but I've got some skimmers as well to go on top. So we'll see what we've got with those. All right, now the skimmers. A lot more skimmers than I thought today, but they've not been the massive ones. First hour, £11.4 of skimmers, and plenty of bites, but not quite the size we wanted, but they're not too bad. Not too bad size. £3 was hoping for, but plenty of bites and big bits of paste. Let's tip them back. Right, we're just going to have a little break between the first and the second hour, so I can just show you a few little tips. First one is all about the pole pot. Now, I've already mentioned I use a much larger pole pot, so I can put a big bit of paste in, but also some feed if I need to. Today it's hemp, it could be corn, it could be pellets. The distance there can be quite crucial. So whereas if I was fishing normally Kinder pot in pellets and stuff, then I'd have it right near the tip, so you're right on your float. But with paste fishing, I tend to push it quite a way back, and depending on how deep it is, it's quite shallow here, so it doesn't have to be too far back. But that creates, once the paste's in there, I don't know if you can see that, you've got this U shape, and that stops all this wrapping around. And so if you're having lots of spin ups and wraps rounds, move your pot further and further back. So, and this is a homemade aerosol pot, so I can easily open up the holes and push it further and further back. But it's quite important to create that sort of U shape to stop tangles on the way out, else it's just going to spin up and spin up over itself and cause you problems. You will get that, it happens to us all, but it will just reduce it happening. And the other thing, when you do pot in, is to lean out a little bit, pot in, and then bring your rig back, because your pot is much further back than where the float is. So just lean, if you go out that much further, that sort of distance, and then bring back, your float and your hook bait will all be in line of where you've potted in. Right then, hooking the paste. I've got a nice big size 12 hook. That's going to help the paste stick to it. I've also got a nice long tag of line, which also helps the paste stick to it. The consistency of paste I'm using, you cannot physically ship out. So it's a very sloppy sort of paste. You can't ship it out, you have to pot it in. So before going in, just gloop your fingers in your tub of water, and that stops the paste sticking to it. So do that first. Then you just get a nice big chunk. I mean, I've been fishing big bits like that at times, and just pop the paste in the middle, fold it over, and that's it. There's nothing else to do there, and pop it in. Don't overwork it, there's no need. It's stuck together, that's all congealed around the hook. It's all in a big gloop, so that's ready to go in. And then you don't always have to go out with the hemp. I tend to put hemp in if I think I need to bring some fish in. If I think there's plenty of fish out there already, if I've missed a bite and I think there's plenty of bait out there, then I just go in with a hook bait. But then we'll go in, decent amount of hemp, fill it to the brim, and then we just ship out. Another really important fact with paste fishing is to keep your area snag free, because I'm putting the paste in there and shipping out. All this area, I've got snag free little buttons and knobs here, and there's nothing for the line to catch on as we're shipping out. So, and the other thing, to avoid any sort of shakiness and bouncing around, I also put the top kit, attach it to the number 3 section before I ship out as well. And I haven't even got a pole roller today, I'm just using my rod bag. I do that a lot when I'm just fishing at short range. So everything can be done in one smooth motion. So I can quickly bait up, pop it in, there's nothing here to catch at all, and I can ship out because I've already added my top kit to the number 3 section. Well, my final tip is about the distance out we're fishing. I think paste works brilliantly at close range on that 5-6 metre line, or 2+2 a lot of people call it. So that's what I'm fishing today. If in doubt, that's the sort of range of fish. But I actually fish, this is my number 4 and my number 5 section, I actually fish at that distance to begin with. And then I can reach out, pot in my paste and bring it back if I need to. But it also gives me scope for going a little bit further out. And you'll often find, especially on a silty venue, if you're getting loads and loads of bubbles in your peg and your bottom's all ruined because there's too many fish, or a load of skimmers have come in like they have today, then you can just go out half a section, start again, another half section, starting again. And I will happily fish paste as far out as 13 metres if I have to. But usually 2+2, 2+3 is the range I would start at. But I will happily work out a section at a time if I'm getting trouble with the bottom full of bubbles and everything. By starting afresh on a nice clean bubble free bottom, you often get a few fish, and then the carp come in and start tearing it up, and then you have to move out again. So it's not been the case today. Actually, we've been able to fish top kit and 3 all day, and it's been or so far anyway. We haven't gone into the 3rd hour yet. So but it's noticeable that they seem happy to be quite close in today. So I'm not going to make things complicated for myself, and that's the range we're going to stick at. Right then, this is hour 2. We'll see if we need a third hour or not. I think it's gonna be close. I've hopefully done it, but the scales will tell. Right, what did we say there? 52. That's right, isn't it? It's not gone round once, it's gone round twice. 1, 2, yeah, crikey. Yeah. 52 pound. I was going to say 52 pound 8 ounces. Well, there you are. We had a couple of little runts today, but they've definitely got a bit bigger in the second hour, and they were a bit hard to hit down the edge, but they were definitely coming in, and I think in another hour they'd have got even stronger down there. But we've just done it, and I think that's job done for the paste.